This demo is practicing recreating ads using different techniques to recreate the ad or practice drawing body copy headlines. So for this assignment, you will do freehand. In class, you would be able to trace the large objects in the ad to get some idea of scale and where the large objects should go. For the assignment due next week, you will need to do everything freehand. So first, by looking at the objects in the images in the ad, we have headline and subhead, a graphic, a photo of the product. We have subhead, some body copy, tagline, product logo, and name. So these are the elements we want to capture. So to start, I'm going to look at here, we're going to put this icon, which is an award, J.D. Power Award, and it's looking to be about that big on my page. And it's got a curved top, so we're going to just kind of rough that in. And if you'd like to have a lighter weight pencil to do light lines, that's a good idea. And then you can go back and darken the lines that you feel are the correct proportion and angle. This is a bit of a curved base, kind of like the assignments we've been doing, where you're doing the cylinder, sphere, cone, and cube. And you want to have a lot of the detail captured, but it doesn't have to be exact, and certainly I'm not going to fill in that tight, but you do want to have some shading, and you want to capture what you can of the main elements. So we've got something here. This is quite dark, so we'll fill that in. This has got almost like an outline. So that's the general idea. You're going to fill in all the big details, J.D. Power. So for the truck, I'm looking at it being 2/3 of the page. And we'll start about here and go with the large outline of the truck. And just get some sketched lines. You can always go back and tighten that up. And just get the whole outline of the truck so you get an idea of how much space it takes up, where your details will end up going. You've got a wheel here and it sticks out a little bit, hubcap. And we've got the running board. And keep an eye on the perspective. This goes back a bit. And we've got a tire here. And the bed of the truck. So it's starting to come together. And of course then you have your boat in the background. And that comes this way, and there's different elements. And you can even see the shading, how that will help give life to the boat. If you start filling that in and having a dark railing, you get the real sense of that this is a boat, this is a truck pulling a boat, and generally how much space it takes up in the ad. Let's come down here. And again, this perspective, it really helps to have a sense of how perspective works in drawings so that you can get that to look right. Now, when we're discussing mocking up type for comps, you will need to put in the font as close as you can the large headlines or logos. And what you can do is take your ruler and maybe a harder pencil here with lighter lines and just do some basic guidelines. So it's about, if I'm looking here, the T is lining up just beyond the edge of this part of the award, and then it's about maybe this big or so. So now I have some idea of where that headline's going to go. And it's dropping down right about here. So maybe I need to extend that a little bit. So that's how you can measure within your drawing. You can see where things are lining up. See, this is lining up right about here. And that, see, that probably needs to come out more like that. And then you can take an eraser, which is helpful. And, you know, just get an idea of where things are aligned. You know, if you're looking at this part, it's coming off at an angle from the tire. So you may sketch in this banner. And you can see it's a straight line, so it just crosses right through, probably a little lower. And then it goes right to the edge of the page. And there you have an idea of where your elements are going to go. So for the headline, I'm going to try to mock up what this font actually looks like. Some might have serifs or script, and so that you have a real sense of, for yourself or other people that you may need to show your idea to, what they can expect when that ad is completed. So we're doing reverse engineering, where we're going to practice creating existing ads, so when you want to create on the computer your ad, you have an idea of what to expect. So as you go along, you're going to create that. So as you finish that, and I would probably do introducing as written out as best I could. Now we've got some body copy, some small type. You are not going to be able to recreate that with just a pencil. It would take much too long. But what you want to do is convey the idea that there would be some text. This looks like boilerplate information, which is your standard contact information. A lot of times it'll be disclaimers or something like that, and it's usually quite small. So that's at the bottom. And what you can do, let's say we just want to Greek in, which is just mock up where type would go with nonsense words or symbols. Again, we'll do some guidelines here, and you can freehand them after a while, and that helps, especially if you do it lighter. All right, so we've got a couple lines of type, and then you would just put in, so let's do a heavier pencil, you would just put in where that text would go. Now you can see awarded doesn't go all the way to the end, but quality would. So you would want to mock up that as well, that this is how far the text should go, or, you know, just kind of guess at how much text would fit on a line. You can do it that way. And then something like the tagline, you would want to, this is in italics, so you want to put that in as best you can. And same with the logo, you definitely want to sketch that in and shade it a little bit. And then fill in all these details as best you can. Now, there's a lot of clouds. Maybe you just do something light in the background to not distract from the elements that you're planning out. The sky isn't the key element here. This is the key element. So you want to make sure that stands out so that it's understood how this ad would end up looking in the end. So you would fill in these details, you know, put that logo in as best you can, and complete this with the details as a practice. On Blackboard, there is a choice of 2 ads. Veridesk is one of them, and you can recreate that by looking at it on your screen or printing it out and having it next to you like this if you have the ability, and turn in one of those next week.